Hello and welcome to this short presentation where we talk about integrated develop environments, short IDEs. So the first question is, why would you use it? Because you don't technically need it, right? You can just use a text file in the end. However, there are some advantages which are listed here and we're going to go over them. So first of all, index. This is a huge thing, and basically what does it mean? It just means that your IDE knows your different code. So if you have different files with your functions, then the IDE can basically see that for you, right? And it just makes it a lot easier to use functions that you define somewhere else. So in this example, you can already see if you write bar, the function, and you hover over it, it's going to show you, oh yeah, this function exists, it has this and that, it is somewhere there, and this is how you use it. So it's just really helpful. So you can basically see it here. It was imported from this file, and this is how it's defined. And then the IDE usually allows you to give extra comments to have more information as well. Then one amazing thing is a debugger. So at some point when you're writing code, it's gonna fail for sure. And now this debugger basically allows you to go through your code one line by one line, and there's just a lot of things that you can do with it to help you to see where your mistakes are. So I highly recommend, don't wait until you're finished with university to learn about debuggers. Use them all the time. They are really amazing. In the beginning, if you have like the small projects, there's always this incentive to not use it because you don't really need it. You can do it otherwise. But if you learn it now, it's going to help you a lot in the long run. And as soon as you have more complex mistakes, this is the go-to, okay? And you can see here basically the IDE allows you to do a lot of things, such as the points on the right that you stop there and you can just go through the program. So basically you can see here when we're executing, you see this red line. This is where we are at. And you can also see down here, we have this, it shows us what these values are, right? So what is this variable, what is saved there, and so on. You can also have the console where you can tinker around, get more information, just really awesome tools, a lot of cool stuff. So the next up, we have this error type checks. This is basically not that important for Python because you don't have the types in here, but you can still add them. We're going to talk about this. So basically the IDE can already, by going through your code, anticipate if something is going to go wrong. And this is important for different languages. And also in Python, you can have type checks. So you can give types hints. They're not going to go out enforced, but you can basically now see it's going to tell me, yeah, this should be a string. I tell the IDE that, and then the IDE can tell me this should be a string, but you didn't give me one. So this can avoid a lot of problems, and it's just going to make you way more efficient as a developer. Then code completion, probably one of the biggest things. So as soon as you start typing, Python or the IDE is going to look for, is there something that starts with this name that you can use? So basically here you can see if we type in meth.f, it's going to give us a lot of options, floor, fabs, fmod, and so on. And it's just going to make you write a lot faster. And you don't have to memorize everything by yourself, right? And it's also going to make you less likely to do typos because you can just press tab, autocomplete. And then the IDE is also going to give you a lot of supporting tools. So this now is PyCharm and it has a lot of features. So first of all, you have a Python console, which is basically awesome if you just need to quickly verify how something is working in Python, for example. Then what we talked about before, the debug. So basically here you have all the information about your program while it's running. Then you have packages. I don't think you used this yet, but this is going to be very important later on, especially in bigger projects when you need to manage this. Then you have a terminal, always very useful, try to use it. Then you have some problem information. In this case, it would, for example, say you yeah, your style is not that good, or it's gonna say you this, for example, the type checks that we see before, they're gonna show up here. And then you have version control as well. I don't think you talked about this yet, but this is basically where you would add Git and GitHub. So basically keeping track of what is happening in your project. So which one should you choose? Basically the choice is yours. I have here a quote from Reddit, and basically the one important thing is just choose whichever one you like. Maybe there's two big differences. Normally there's IDEs that are specific for the language, such as PyCharm in this case, or you can do one that has cross-language support where you can add different ones. Maybe here always weigh on, if it's just for one language, it's going to be probably a bit better for this language. But if you have one that's for many languages, you don't need other programs, you can just define it once and so on. It's like a lot of good and bad. So we're going to dive into it. First of all, we have PyCharm. PyCharm basically is, Python specific, and it's made by JetBrains. Maybe you heard of them as well. They have a lot of cool IDEs. Maybe the most important things, they have a different IDE for every language, or almost every language. You can still use other languages in the IDE sometimes, but there's usually a better option. And what is very important about it, it's paid service, so you need to pay for it. But as a student, you can use it for free. So I would advise you try it out. And then I think you're gonna get a student discount, but check this out. But it's still, you can check on the website. It's think like 200 in a year if you want to have everything. But yeah, check it out. It's really cool. Then we have IDLE. This one is basically also Python specific, and it was made specifically for what you're doing now, basically for your learning. So it's gonna be quite easy to get into, and it has a lot of supporting things, but I never used it myself. But check it out for sure. Might be awesome. You might like it. See how it goes. Then there's the very popular VS Code, and this is basically, it's not an IDE. Instead, it's just a text editor. But what VS Code does, it has this build it yourself attitude. So it has a lot of extensions, a big community, and a lot of people added different things. So it basically works like an IDE. You just need to get your stuff that you need that others have pre-built in. So basically you can do almost everything. I read some threads that there's maybe for huge projects it's gonna get worse with performance and so on, but for now this would really work. And the cool thing about VS Code, you can basically use it for everything because you can just customize it. So if you want to do Python, you just install the Python things, and then if you want to do something other later, you can do the other languages, right? So yeah, give it a shot, try it out, customize it, and see how it goes. You can also have this and another IDE, doesn't matter. Then we have Jupyter. Basically, Jupyter are notebooks, so it has really cool features where you can do different sets of code. I think especially for learning or doing small scripts, it's really nice. What does Jupyter stand for? Basically, it's 3 programming languages, which the first one is Julia, then you have Python, and then you have R. So Jupyter. Huh? Makes sense, right? So for you, the Python part is important, and it's really cool because, as I said, you can do the different cells, and for doing a quick script, it can be really, really nice and fast. And you can also do it in the web, so basically you don't even have to have it locally. And then we also have others. So these are not everything that you can do. There's a lot of other IDEs that you can use and really experiment with them. Experiment with these 4 that we just presented. Also try out others. And the internet is yours to take, right? There's a lot of information out there. Go for a YouTube video, check out different threads, just read up on it. And here we have all the sources. Shout out to all the amazing people that make their pictures available for free. And yeah, try out the IDEs and see how it goes.